Hey everyone, and welcome back to STEM Simplified. This is episode 6 of our JavaScript Basics series, and today we're diving into while loops, a type of loop that runs as long as a condition stays true. Super useful when you don't know exactly how many times something needs to happen. So let's get started. In the last episode, we learned about for loops. Those are great when you already know how many times to repeat something. But what if you don't? What if something keeps happening until a certain condition changes? That's where while loops come in. So what is a while loop? A while loop checks the condition first, and if it's true, it runs the block of code. Then it checks again and repeats if the condition is still true. The loop keeps going until the condition becomes false. It's like saying, keep going while this is happening. When should you use one? Use while loops when you want to repeat something, but don't know how many times ahead of time. It's perfect for things like waiting for user input, checking sensor data, or keeping a game running until the player loses. Here's the catch. If your condition never becomes false, the loop runs forever. That's called an infinite loop. It can crash your program. So always make sure your loop has a clear way to end. Now that we've seen how it works in the slides, let's see it working in action. Here's a simple example. We start with count equals 3. The loop checks if count is greater than 0. If it is, it prints the number, then subtracts 1. Once count reaches 0, the condition becomes false and the loop stops. So this loop runs 3 times and then it ends, as we can see in the console. Now, let's get into the specifics. We initialize the variable count with a let. This is because, if you can recall from our variables episode, that let will allow the code to change in the future. Next, we can see that we initialize the while loop, inside of which is the condition. In this case, is count is greater than 0. We can see after the code inside, which is lines 4 and 5, which is the code that will run inside the loop. Now, let's look at line 5. This line says count minus minus. This basically does the same thing as subtracting 1 from the value count. Now, the first time this loop runs, it'll print out 3 and then reduce the value of count to 2. The second time, it'll print 2 and change count to 1. And the third time, it'll print 1 and reduce count to 0. This time, however, the value of count, which is 0, is no longer greater than 0. So the code will exit out of the loop and end the code. Now that we've seen how it works with a real example, let's go back. To recap today's episode, while loops are super useful when you're not sure how many times you'll need to repeat something. Just make sure your condition can change, otherwise the loop will never end. Thanks for watching episode 6 of JavaScript Basics. In the next video, we'll explore functions, how to group and reuse blocks of code, to keep your programs clean and organized. See you in episode 7!